It's 2 a.m. You're lying in bed. Suddenly, you remember something embarrassing from 7 years ago. Your brain won't let go of it. Now you're thinking about every interaction that person might have remembered, every word you said wrong, every time you were awkward. Sleep is gone, and your brain won't stop. This doesn't happen during the day. You don't spiral about past embarrassment at noon. So why now? Why is your brain specifically designed to torture you at night? Here's what's strange. Right now, in the middle of the day, if you remember something embarrassing from years ago, your brain lets it go. You think about it for maybe 2 seconds. Then you're back to whatever you're doing. But at night, that same memory becomes an obsession. Your brain won't release it. It demands you think about it, demands you analyze it, demands you figure out what this means about you as a person. This isn't random. This isn't a weakness. Your brain is actually different at night. But how? That's the question. Because once you understand what changes at night, you understand why you can't stop. And understanding changes everything. Throughout the day, your cortisol stays elevated. It keeps you alert, focused, capable of handling stress. But as evening hits, it crashes. And this crash is dramatic. By the time you're in bed, your cortisol is roughly 75% lower than it was at noon. Lower cortisol means lower stress tolerance. It means your anxiety system has more power. It means your rational mind, the part that can tell you this doesn't matter, is literally offline. So something that wouldn't bother you at 3 p.m. becomes catastrophic at 3 a.m. But that's not the whole story. Because lower cortisol doesn't explain why your brain specifically digs up old embarrassment. Why not just feel anxious in general? Why specifically past social failures? The answer is in your own brain. When you're awake and busy, your brain is in what neuroscientists call task mode. It's focused on external things, your work, your conversation, the video you're watching. But the moment you lie down and there's nothing external to focus on, your brain shifts. It switches into default mode network. And in default mode, your brain doesn't think about now. It thinks about then. It goes backward to memories, to interactions where you weren't sure what happened. Your brain is looking for unfinished business, things that don't make sense. And at 2 a.m., with your cortisol low and your rational mind offline, those moments feel urgent. They feel dangerous. But here's what matters. They can't be solved through overthinking. That conversation from 7 years ago, you can't fix it now. That embarrassing moment, replaying it 1,000 times won't change it. So your brain keeps trying over and over all night, but it never reaches resolution. There's just exhaustion. This is where most people give up. They think they're broken. But you're about to understand why this happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Your brain is doing this because of evolution. Your ancestors faced real danger at night. Predators hunted in darkness. Your ancestors couldn't sleep either. They lay awake scanning, listening, running through scenarios. What if something attacked? What if they missed a sound? Your brain still has this system. It doesn't distinguish between a predator and a social interaction from 7 years ago. Both are tagged as threats. Both demand attention. But here's what science discovered. You can interrupt this, not by fighting your brain, by working with it. First, keep external focus. You overthink when there's nothing external to focus on, so keep something engaging going. A podcast, an audiobook, a task. Something that requires attention but doesn't stress you. Your brain gets the stimulation it's craving for without the overthinking spiral. The moment you give it external focus, the default mode network quiets down. Second, name the unsolvable. When a thought comes up, that embarrassing moment, that conversation, acknowledge it out loud or write it down. Say, that happened. I can't change it. My brain is trying to solve it because of evolution, not because it's actually fixable. Once you acknowledge it's permanently unsolvable, your brain can release it. Third, reframe the threat. When you notice the overthinking, remind your brain, this is ancient programming. I'm safe. This takes practice, but your brain listens to your conscious mind more than you think. You're not fighting your brain. You're informing it. Thank you for trying to protect me, but we're safe now. So you're not broken. You're not weak. You're not overthinking because you're anxious. You're overthinking because your brain evolved like this. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The tragedy is that what kept your ancestors alive now just keeps you awake. But understanding that changes everything. Because now you know, this isn't a character flaw. It's a feature from the ancient world. And features can be worked with. They can be interrupted. They can be managed. You're not fighting yourself at 2 a.m. You're fighting 300,000 years of evolution. But now you have a strategy. External focus. Naming the unsolvable. Reframing the threat. Use these tools at 2 a.m. and something shifts. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's just confused about when it's safe. And once you teach yourself that, you're safe, sleep becomes possible again.